Hello, Professor. This is Cynthia Futso, and I'm going to basically dry run my code for the midterm. So I'll first do a dry run and we'll see what it looks like, basically the output, and then we'll look at the back end of the code to understand some of the functionalities. I'm just waiting for the emulator to connect. Okay, so it tells us it's successfully finished, and here is our main page. So it brings us to Cynthia Store, where it allows the user to add a new product. So let's say we want to add a new product to our store, and that's an Apple Watch Series 10. Price, and we say it's a smartwatch. And let's just say it's a new arrival, and we have the toast that tells us the value for a new arrival checkbox is true, and we hit submit. So once we do that, it brings us to our other app, basically connecting, and we see the details entered in the cart. So it tells us below the product details, product name, that was an Apple Watch Series 10, the price, in which category the product is, and from which tag, so confirming it's a new arrival, as we mentioned, new item that just arrived basically. And to run the last one, which was regarding the fragment, I'll just update it here for the fragment to run. So let's just do that and see. Okay, I think that's okay. So basically, to be able to let the fragment activity run, so I put my main activity to be false, and then I put the intent filter having the main and launcher here, so it's going to run the fragment activity. So I'll just rerun this, and there we go. So once we do that, we see our login fragment that's populated. So we'll have to enter our email. I'll try with my Seneca address. So that's cynthiaphoto1 at myseneca.ca. And the requirements were letting us know that once we enter the email address, we need to click here. So on this text which says haven't signed up yet, click here to sign up. So once I do that, I have my email address already populated. And if I do sign up, it'll tell me to please enter a password, which once I do, and I hit sign up, it tells me thank you for signing up. So this is what we had to prepare for the midterm. I'll just quickly go through the back end of the code just to explain. I'll just close and open the necessary ones. So I'm going to start with part one, which was basically setting up the text views with the radio buttons and the submit button. So we had that in the main activity. So that was here, and yeah, everything was set up, basically dragging and dropping here. We have its code, and yeah, I just set up what the necessary things that were supposed to be set up. For this one, we were supposed to have a spinner for the different types of products we had. That was implemented here, and later on put into an array, and we see the corresponding things. I use a toast. That's once the user clicks a checkbox. We saw that when on the sample I clicked for new arrival, and then it gave us the value to be true because the box was checked. This was not, but if we do that, it will be the same. And we saw this as once we hit on the submit button, basically connected to the second activity because of the use of intent here. So because of this, then it connects us to activity 2, which brings us there. So basically those were the details, and on this page we saw we had the name, price, product category, checkbox to know if the item was on sale and if it was just a newly arrived item. So that's for main activity. We'll go to activity 2 as well. opening its file here. So these were the requirements, basically having our card view and having the product details that were to be displayed in this card view and with our background color. So that was implemented here. And yeah, basically opening this. To confirm as well, we had to use either serializable or parcelable. So I went for serializable just to confirm here because it allows us, as mentioned, to pass an object from one app to the other because there were many inputs we had to pass just to avoid passing one by one by using intent. That's why it was implemented here. So I created this data class product, and then I had my inputs, so product name, price, category, if the item was on sale, and if it was just a newly arrived item. Okay, and then I had that here. So basically confirm for the display that the product data that were received here were basically my input values, what were to be displayed on the card. We had to implement a card view for this. These were the different values that were to be displayed. And yeah, basically the tag for the checkboxes. And just to show how the card view was implemented here. So yeah, basically we had this here. We had the card view and we see that all our different texts, product details, yeah, below products, price, category, everything was placed in the card view. So basically respecting this requirement as well. And the last thing remaining to explain is the part 3, which was regarding our fragment. So I'm going to open that here. First, open the fragment activity. That was the main thing we had, but after that had to implement the login and the sign up once. Fragment login and sign up. Okay, so for the login, basically we had to take into account the email. That's the email that the user enters. That was an edit text as requested. And then the text view, basically to go to sign up. That was the little text that was in red telling the user to click if the user wants to sign up. And here to basically allow the connection between both fragments, we use the bundle basically that allows to do that, and it was to send the email address initially entered in the login form to the sign up form without the customer clicking on anything again. So that's what was implemented here. And yeah, we see the fragment login. And then now for the sign up form, we had the details. So the email as edit text, password, we had the sign in button, and the message that will basically pop up once the user clicks on sign in. So again here, we got the email here from the bundle just to confirm because that's what was passed from the login fragment. So we have it here, and that was the key. And once that's done, we then set up this one again so that once the user clicks on the sign up button, it tells you thank you for signing up. If you click on that without having entered a password, it will tell you to please enter a password. So yep, this is what we could do for the midterm exam, basically respecting all the requirements and making sure everything is included here with all the features, implementations, activity and fragment navigations, as well as data passing, so the key value pairs, and using serializable. Yep. So yeah, basically that's what I could do for this assignment. Thank you.